morning from Grow Blackpool in the centre of Blackpool, a brilliant groundwork project, and I'm going to show you how to do a Moroccan tagine this morning. We've got Kath here, hello.
Hello.
And we've got a number of people coming to do a grow and eat session, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about how we would do a grow and eat session here at this project, and how you could replicate that in your own project. So we're just going to harvest some of our own courgettes and squash. So Kath, we've got some lovely little, I've forgotten the name of these ones, the ball courgette, which is cute. So that's, you can use the skin on these, they're fab. And then there's, we've got some lovely yellow ones. So I think we could have a couple of them, or one if there's only one on there. And there's one behind you, Kath, a green one there. So we're going to utilise these in the tagine, or the Moroccan stew. It's a one pot stew that we're going to use, and it's really tasty and it's easy to cook, and you can cook it within an hour, and everyone can have a portion of it because you can make loads of it. So it's great, really nutritious, low fat and low sugar and low salt, so it's great. And so we're going to make like a Moroccan stew really, and it's got, so we've got some olive oil, some onions that we're chopping here from our garden. We've got these lovely squash. Now these squash are absolutely beautiful. They're like a scallopini squash. Some call them flying saucers, which is great. And one of the things you need to do, Kath, is just to try and take the seeds out.
Oh, that, yeah, like you do on a melon.
Yeah. And you can either do that and just chop it into little pieces like that, or even about that much. Okay. And you're going to do the same with this lovely courgette, like a round courgette. And the onion's going to be cut quite small. And then we're going to do the squash and these squash the same, and we need about 4 or 5 garlic cloves. The ingredients for the stew can be varied according to what you're growing at your project. So what we're putting in a lot of courgette and squash because we've got a massive glut of them. We've got large onions, about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. We've got some Caval Nero, we grow loads of it and it's fab. We've got some dill seeds. We've got green beans, French beans, not the runner beans. And we're putting a few potatoes in as well. But underneath it we'll have a lovely tomato sauce with flavoured with harissa and some stock. And just because I love them, we've got some preserved lemons. Now obviously not everyone can get preserved lemons, they're not always available in supermarkets. However, you can just use some lemon juice to be okay, or even the lemon rind to give it a bit of flavour. So they're really great. This is gives it a real Middle Eastern flavour. So this is what they'll use. And we've got some couscous. So we've gone for a whole wheat couscous, which really easy and quick to make, because you just leave it, steep it in boiling water, add a bit of stock and flavours and herbs, and it's fabulous to complement. We've got a tin of tomatoes and chickpeas and some tomato puree as well. So that's pretty much all the ingredients we're going to pop in. So we're in the process of chopping everything. So we've got this fabulous ball courgette, we've got the scallopini, and we're going to treat them all like courgettes because the skin's not very hard. And we've grown these all in our project here at Grow Blackpool, using organic principles, so treating pests with companion planting and using EnviroMesh to protect things like cabbages and cauliflowers, and we use a lot of we introduce predators and use sort of plants that encourage predators to control our pests. So there's no pesticides on any of our vegetables at all, so that's great. And you might want to do that in your project where you are. because it's much healthier for the people who are coming to the project. So Claire is a fabulous volunteer here who has done a lot of the growing, haven't you? Right early in the season. And we were just discussing, weren't we, how we produced a lot of this stuff. So we started to sow in, was it?
About March.
Yeah. And how did you sow it? Can you remember?
In little
modules.
First of all.
Yeah.
And then about 6 weeks later, we pricked them out.
Yeah.
And we got the little.
The two seeds.
The two seeds going. That's right.
Yeah, so that it gave them room to grow on.
Yeah.
And then Claire and the other volunteers have been monitoring these all through March and April. And we plant out about May, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So quite a lot of this was planted out, and we grow a lot of stuff for cafes and various community sort of gatherings. So a lot of this has been grown by you guys, isn't it?
Well, thank you.
And
with a lot of supervision.
Yeah. Well, it's great because now we're seeing the final product and we're going to actually eat it today. So it's really rewarding, sort of doing a grow and eat. So we're going to start to cook. So this is a one-pot recipe. I've made it so that it's really simple. That we basically throw more ingredients in and use lots of herbs and spices. However, it's not hot. It's tasty, but I wouldn't say it's spicy because some people can't cope with that. Also, we've tried to use gluten-free ingredients so that if there's any allergies, but we would make sure as a project that if anyone's got a nut allergy, that they wouldn't be eating this, because you can't actually check thoroughly in these conditions. Everything's been wiped down. One other thing to think about and bear in mind when you're doing a project working in a project like this, it's good that if volunteers or staff are cooking, that at least a few of them have got food hygiene, a food hygiene certificate, which I have.
I used to have.
Yeah.
I haven't got one at the moment.
And have a good awareness of it, so it's really important. So, Kath, we're going to start up the heater. So these are like camp stoves that you can get in camp shops, brilliant for cooking outdoors. And we're going to pop some olive oil in. So this is your spoon. And we're going to pop some garlic and onions in straight away, and we'll saute them, not on a high heat but on a medium. So that can go in. So that's going to be the basis of all your flavour. So as you can see, we've got all these vegetables. So this is going to feed quite a lot of people. And we've got quite a number of people on the project today, so it will keep everyone going. So we've got all our courgettes, we've got tomatoes, we've grown carrots, cavallero, lots of different types of squash, beans, our preserved lemon, and some potatoes left with the skin on. All dug up this morning, and then we've got loads of herbs and spices to pop in. Right, so Kath's sauteed the onions and they're a nice brown colour, they're translucent. So now we're going to add lots of things to it. So we'll start with the tomato base. And tomatoes? Yeah, throw them in. Okay. And then a bit of tomato puree as well, because we're going to need quite a bit of sauce. So about half the cube. We're going to put a lot of water in because we've got a lot of vegetables popping here. So give that a stir. Now, we've probably overdone the vegetables. It probably won't all fit in the pan. But we'll see how we get on. So we'll start with should we start with this one? So I would put about half the squash in and all the tomatoes. for more flavour, and
The carrot.
the carrot. We'll see how we get on because there's a lot. But you can always take some home and put them in doggy bags for your dinners. So we'll see how much we can get in this pan. It's a big pan. That's it. That'll do for that. Thanks. And I think we'll need some Cavall Nero, and so maybe a quarter of that. And we'll bag the rest up for people to take home. Yeah, that's enough. And just a bit of that. That's it. Thank you. Give that a stir. Now we have got the preserved lemon and the beans and the potato. So wow. So if you bob those in, they'll be great. Look at all that veg. Oh, and we've got the potato, the new potato. That's fine. I think that's enough. I think the rest of it we'll bag up and we'll give it to people. They can make a soup out of it, and you know, it won't go to waste. So now we're going to put the chickpeas in, and we will put some more water in a minute, and we'll do the spices, shall we?
Yeah.
So look at that, that's full of nutrients. So what have we got? Got some mustard, whole grain mustard, some chipotle chili flakes. So we're going to pop a few of those in. I'll do those because I think I've got to be careful. But they have a lovely smoky flavour. Yeah, good dollop of mustard. There's a lot of it, so I can do 2 pinches and it won't be hot. And then we've got some harissa. Now you can, if you're doing a real tagine and you're using meat, then you start with sort of put the herbs in oil and get them going to start with to get the flavour. However, because this is more of a sort of stew, we've bypassed that, because we have to be, when you're doing a cook and eat outside, you've got to sort of break some rules. As long as they're not hygiene rules and you're keeping everything really clean, I think you can go and break some of those sort of old recipes down a little bit. So what have we got?
We've done the
harissa.
We've done the harissa.
So
we've
now,
done the mustard.
So smoked paprika to give it a smoky flavour. So Kath's been liberal. And we might, as we go along, if you get a clean spoon, you can taste a little bit and then try it. But as long as you don't put the spoon back in the pan, you'll be fine. So salt and pepper. So we've got a twist of salt and pepper.
This one.
Over there. So might as well go for that. So what do you reckon? I think, is it upside down? Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. And maybe about, what, 5 or 6 twists of pepper, because there's a lot. Look at that, it's fab. What a lovely colour. It looks like the flag of Italy at the moment. It's right, reds and greens. You know it's going to be good for you when it's that colourful. So that's always a clue. So is that everything in now?
I think, have we put any stock in?
Oh yeah, so 1 cube of stock. So this is, we're using a kalo stock, and it's gluten free. So we're going to bob that in, and that gives a bit more flavour. And then we're going to cook it now for about 20 minutes until everything's soft, and then we'll serve. Now we've got the stew as cooked for about half an hour, and we've decided to have an accompaniment of couscous, which is quite normal with a Mediterranean or Middle Eastern sort of stew. Now, 1/4 of the packet in the bottom of the pan, and we've got some boiling water ready, and we're going to flavour it with. We're going to flavour it with some preserved lemon. Coriander, so that's a paste of coriander. A little bit of turmeric for colour. And a splash of harissa as well. That will give it a bit of oomph. So, it's alright, Andreas. Do you want to come and taste this in a minute, Andreas and Nicola?
Oh, okay.
So, hiya, Andreas.
Hello.
So, Andreas and Nicola are volunteers. They're going to come and taste it. And we're going to cover the couscous with some stock and boiling water. So we'll do about half a pint to start with, and we can always pop a bit more in to cover it. Now there isn't a massive amount there, is there? So I might go a bit more, go wild and put a bit more in. Yeah. So would you like some of this, Andreas? Would you like to taste it?
Yes, please.
Oh, great. And you, right, so it doesn't matter if there's a few. So the if you come in, you can see the couscous needs to be covered with the boiling water, and then immediately we need to just put a lid on it. Well, maybe this bowl will be fit. So a bowl like that, so it just completely covers it, and we'll just leave that for about 4 or 5 minutes just to fluff up. So, Kath's now serving our stew, and as you can see, it's a myriad of colours and loads of greens and oranges and yellows, and a little side bit of couscous, maybe a couple of spoonfuls, and Nicola, would you like to have a try and see what you think?
Yes, thank you.
And Andres is going to have a try in a minute.
Thank you.
Okay. So if you try, it'll be quite hot.
Delicious.
Yeah.
That's more
Would
than
you
your
like
5
to
a day in there.
Yes.
That's really good.
Barbara, yes?
Yeah.
Would you like to try some?
Yes, please.
Grace, do you want some? Oh, you give me that spoon here, that spoon.
Thank you.
Would you like some couscous, Andreas?
Which one's Andreas?
I think
it's this one, Andreas.
I think Andres.
Oh, she's got it. Right.
Because it might be hot.
So this is going to feed the whole
delicious.
polytunnel. And thank you very much for joining us here
Merci.
today, here at Grow Blackpool, and we'll see you again shortly.